Hi, Step 2 group. Thank you for picking the challenge, and you probably can handle this because you are an independent learner and work well on your own or without a lot of teacher direction. What we're going to be doing is the Step 1 notes, and in the Step 1 notes, I would assume you know most of these words. Exposition, rising action, all of those are words that you've learned in the past. I'm sure you're very familiar with main character, protagonist, antagonist, the enemy. Minor versus major, you know those two words. The only word that maybe you need to review is motif. A motif is something that keeps reoccurring in the story, and it might be an idea, a symbol, an image, and oftentimes it helps us to develop the theme. And we'll see that when we read the story, want to do something neat. You're going to keep hearing that saying a couple times in the story, and that is a motif. And when you develop the theme, that is part of the theme. The rest of these words, I think you really probably do not need to review. Don't forget with climax, it really helps to develop the fate of the protagonist. And it's not just the most exciting part, but it also determines what will ultimately be how this protagonist will live their life or end up, okay? We will be talking about pacing, and there is a review of mood here, but also I'll have that in your notes. I'm sure you're very familiar with point of view. You should not need to do those things, okay? On your Step 2 notes, you are welcome to do paper, or you can use these notes to highlight. I'm suggesting that you star which ones you would like to put in your narrative, okay? So you could just use the asterisk symbol, okay, like that. And you can also highlight things that you need to study. Just remember, if you highlight this, it is bolded. If you turn on the paintbrush, anything that you highlight will then be bolded. So just so you're aware of that. If you don't like that, then highlight something that isn't already highlighted, and then turn on your paintbrush. Just a few notes. I'm going to pronounce just a couple of these words since you are probably not familiar with them. Within the plot diagram and the typical words there's also an inciting incident. When violence is incited, it means it begins or it triggers. And so there has to be an event in really good narratives that begins all the action, begins the conflict. You can read about crisis, and this word is denouement. And please read about the differences between resolution and denouement, okay? Coincidence, surprise, dilemma, foreshadowing, cliffhanger. Those should probably be pretty easy words if you just read through the definitions. I've added, maybe you've not heard of this type of conflict before, or the man versus fate, and so those are some new conflicts for you. Please think about which type of ending you would like your personal narrative to be. And I know a lot of you don't like this type of ending, but it is considered to be a good ending. Review of irony. These three types of irony you'll be learning in 8th grade, and so you're getting ahead there. And then we get down to the character types. I'm sure you're familiar with symbolism and imagery. Again, these are terms that you will be familiar with in high school and in 8th grade. And so think about when you're developing your characters that you do try to include round, dynamic characters as well as flat or static or stock or stereotyped characters. If these are difficult terms for you, there is on the digital version, these terms, some of them, especially the character terms, come from this teacher's website, and there are some videos there that you could watch that could help you to understand the terms. I'm sure that's kind of more on the fun order of doing this. I wouldn't do it for all of them, but the ones that you feel like you're struggling on of the characters, you can go to that website to review those. When you finish, then what I would like you to do is open up this 2021 important considerations. And basically, these are some of the other things that we really have to think about when writing a narrative. And basically, what you'll be doing is taking these, read it and move it to whichever category it belongs in. Obviously, you want to read each of these categories first. And, don't worry about if when you move things, if it kind of, gets on top of each other or whatever it is. It really doesn't matter. It's just a matter of, it's something for you to review some of the important considerations in narrative writing. You're certainly welcome to do that as a group, partners. When you discuss things, as I've said before, you tend to remember it longer. So I do encourage you to work together. And if this bothers you if this is difficult for you, I do have paper copies of this. You could color code, make this category blue, color all the ones down here blue that belong in this category. You could do it that way if you wanted to cut and paste. It really doesn't make me any difference. But that's the activity you should be doing after you work on or read through your notes. Okay, if you have questions, you could probably come in right away or you can wait till the end. If you don't quite get finished and we do finish, we're going to have work time today. You can finish that during work time if you don't get as far as the rest of your group. Okay, good luck. Thanks for taking the challenge.